So first let's talk about the technical etude. The technical etude is a little tricky because in a traditional technical etude, you're really worried about right notes and right rhythms, and that is very important. However, in this one, I would be a little bit more cautious about style. Things like staccatos and accents play a huge role in this etude. Also, I'd be very careful about the terrace dynamics. It starts out really loud and then gets really soft, and make sure that there's a big difference between what forte and what piano is in your audition. Also, once we get to the mezzo forte, da 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 da, once we get to that section, it seems like there's a lot of places to breathe, but in actuality, that 16th note rest isn't a really good spot to breathe because you're going to lose time in it. So actually, I would go with what they've dictated as breath marks and breathe there, and make sure that you tank up enough when you have longer notes earlier so that you're not straining for air later in the piece. Other general things to watch out for the dotted A 16th and make sure that we're placing those exactly the way they need to be. Working on getting it to be exactly how it's supposed to be rhythmic wise, and also making sure that we're staying at the dynamic levels that are dictated while not flatlining. You don't want to be like at the mezzo forte section, you don't want to be flat, you don't want your music to be boring. However, you also don't want to get too loud or too soft because you want to show off the ability to play in the written dynamic structure. So with the lyrical etude, we get a chance to show off our expressive qualities, and this piece is not short of the opportunities to do that. And right in the beginning, we have a lot of these sorts of things, what we call hairpin dynamics, these big swells. And we want to make sure that we're showing those off, the ability to get loud and get quiet in a really quick manner, but also be expressive and not stretch our sound while doing it. However, things you want to look out for, it starts off as kind of 2 beats, 2 beats, 2 beats, 1 beat up, 1 beat down. So you want to watch out for when they change it up later in the piece, like just kind of looking at it in the 3rd to the 4th measure. It gets louder, and it stays loud for 2 beats and then comes down. So you want to make sure you're doing it exactly how it's written. You also want to make sure you're doing it in the context of the dynamics given. We've only got 2 big dynamic markings. We've got 1 piano, we've got 1 mezzo forte, but you want to make sure that you're within those realms as you're kind of doing your swells. And going off of that piano, you also want to make sure that I almost guarantee so many people are going to be trying really hard to play that piano exactly as it is, and as admirable as that is, if you try to play a piano, a lot of times, especially in an audition situation, when you're nervous, it doesn't come out. I would work on playing that piano at a comfortable level and then bumping up what you think mezzo forte is. Remember, dynamics are relative. Other than that, some other more specific things you want to watch out for. The jumps towards the end of the measure, B-O-D-D-O-D. You want to make sure that because there's that little slur over it, that you're not tonguing and you're not cheating them. You want to blow through them and make sure that it's a nice lyrical line, not chopped up. And the very last thing with the rallentando, I would stress to actually not go too slow too quickly. I would actually not show off the rallentando part of it until the 8th notes. I'm thinking ba, be, da, da, dee, and just kind of hold it out and decrescendo nicely. If you're playing a nice E natural, you should hold it out for as long as you can and just come off of it. If it's not sounding very good, come off maybe a little earlier. Another thing I want to mention with a lyrical etude that might help you is because there's so many slurs, if you're having trouble keeping that sustained air, keeping that air moving, buzzing this would be very, very helpful as well. But yeah, guys, those are my tips for the technical and lyrical etude for the Florida All-State Audition this year, 2017. Now, both etudes are in the Rubank Advanced Method, the Volume 1, and I will link that in the description down below where you can go and get your hands on it so you can start getting ready for your audition later this fall. If you have any questions, feel free to comment in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to check out my last video where I talked about the Florida All-State Audition as a whole and getting ready for that. Yeah, guys, if you like this video, please hit that like button. If you would, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more of the All-State Etudes coming up, as well as more product reviews, performances, and educational videos. I'm Aaron Campbell, reminding you to stay happy, but never be satisfied.